My name is Sherry Winston. I am an award winning children's author, and I have made a New Year's resolution. As much as I love writing for children, and as much as I am grateful for the opportunity to do something that I have dreamed of my whole life, which is writing books and writing books for kids, I've grown up a little. And now I am ready to start my journey as a adult author, possibly romance. Well, as long as I can drop a dead body or two. I love a good mystery. So I am inviting you to join me in my creative safe space where we'll talk about books, we'll talk about writing tips, we'll talk about what life is really like for a full-time author, and we'll drink a little wine. I know that many of you have had that resolution for years, that New Year's resolution, that this is going to be the year. I am going to start my novel. I am going to try. Well, you know what Yoda says, do or do not. Girl, there is no try. I see you, Yoda. I see you. And I see you too, my future prospective authors. So I'm going to do book reviews as well as talk a lot about books that I've read that influence my writing. Because even though I write for children, I read and listen to a lot, predominantly, books for adult readers. And one thing I can tell you is that good writing is good writing. A good book that is well written, that speaks to that place in you where that story fits in your soul, that will teach you more about writing than most workshops can, because it's something that you are using to teach yourself, and that makes it stick, that makes it more important. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about two books that have had that impact on me this year, just so you get an idea of who I am as an author. The first one is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. Uh, this was one of, I think this might have been my first Abby Jimenez book. You know, I was very much in my romantic book fields. Um, I really, I really wanted to restart my reading of contemporary romances, and someone suggested this book, so I got it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. What I loved most about it was that it had that slow burn, um, just a real, it felt like a real romance, how real people meet, and it takes time and it takes work and it takes effort, and there's a lot of self-doubt, and there's a lot of putting up walls. And what was most important to me was that there was a child. The female protagonist has a child, and I had wondered whether or not that would be something acceptable in modern contemporary fiction. When I was much younger, many, many years ago, I had an idea for what I thought was a great romance novel. And it featured a single mother, someone who had a young child. And I was told that it would be a hard sell, and I was really crushed because I really thought that that story had something. So when I saw this book with Abby Jimenez and saw how wonderfully the character integrates the baby and the would-be romance and just the dynamic between the three, I thought, wow, this is like not really like my idea. My idea was the only comparison is that both female protagonists have a baby. You know, the one that I wanted to write, and Abby Jimenez. But I thought Abby Jimenez did an excellent job of bringing those elements together and just telling a compelling story that went beyond, oh, he's so sexy, oh, he's so hot, or she's so fine, because you know when you're young and hot, those things seem so important. But let me tell you, as an auntie who has seen some things, you grow out of that and you need a little something else. So kudos to Abby for showing us that in her writing. Another book that I read this year was called The Big Empty by Robert Craze. Now, if you are not familiar with Robert Craze, he is an excellent writer of thriller suspense. He has a series with a main character named Elvis Cole, and Elvis is a private detective who owns his own small agency, and he runs it with his best friend, Joe Pike. And occasionally, Craze will shift off, and it'll be mostly a Pike novel. However, the predominance of them are Elvis because that's how the series started. We are at book 20. And when I tell you that I've enjoyed and loved them all, I've been listening to and reading these books for years. When I tell you that The Big Empty was by far his best work in this series, oh my God. It is as far from a romance feel good novel as you can possibly be. Um, it's a little gritty, it's heartbreaking, it's shocking. And at the end of it, I just sat there and looking at the book like this. I mean, I think the book is written in a way that even if you're not familiar with the series and you don't want to start at 20 just to at 1 just to get all the way to 20, you could listen to this book or read this book and not get too lost. Craze is good like that. His books are written in a fashion that even if you're not familiar with all the previous books, you can pretty much pick up to what's going on and really enjoy the story. The Big Empty was so good. It was just so good, so well written, so well done. And it's just one of those books that long after I finished it, I was just like, man, that's really all I could say. It's just, man. So if you have been putting off starting your novel, if you were, I was going to try, I'm planning to try, I'd really like to try. It's too much this, too much that. Let me tell you a little bit something about me. I used to work as a journalist, a full-time journalist in South Florida, and I decided to adopt my first child in 2000, I believe. Uh, I adopted as a single person. I adopted a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old baby who was classified as special needs. Um, it was a wild ride, and I loved every minute of it. I adopted this child as a single parent. I worked full time. My brother, who had just retired from the Air Force, wanted to live in Florida for a while. So he moved down and he stayed with me for a little while. So because he was there, I was able to sneak out every so often And I felt so, I mean, I was a new mom and I was going through all those new mom feels. Oh, my baby. I don't even know that I had a cell phone. I was one of the last people to get a cell phone. I hated them. I thought they were stupid. I thought they were a fad like go-go boots, and they would just go away. I was wrong. So, but I didn't have a cell phone at first. I did get one because I needed to be able to call my brother and ask him, "Oh, is that was the baby? Is she missing me?" He would be like, "Girl, boo, that baby is not thinking about you. She trying to braid my hair. You need to know my brother was bald." So I don't know how that went, and I never asked. But the point I'm trying to make is that I know all of the reasons, all of the excuses that we put in front of us, about being too busy, I need to fold the laundry, I've got to take care of the kids. And there's always going to be laundry. The kids aren't going anywhere. I'm going to tell you that now. You can leave breadcrumbs and try to lead them out of the house, but they will find their way back for more breadcrumbs. So the kids aren't going anywhere. Um, if you're married, hopefully, God willing, the spouse isn't going anywhere. So, what you need to do is think about, I'm going to give myself this hour. I'm going to give myself an hour every other day, or once a week. Just start out once a week. Start out with it being during our get together. Come and meet me on Sundays at 9 p.m. and let's talk about the things that are holding you back. I'll tell you some of the things that have gotten in my way and how I plan to move forward in my quest to write my first adult novel, possibly a romance with a dead body. Maybe not. I don't know. Um, but I just want us to enjoy being in a safe space and talking about and sharing something that is dear to us, which is books, reading and writing. And let me please be a part of your journey and share with you some tidbits. I'm not teaching a class. There are people who with their MFAs in creative writing and their this degree and that degree who can speak much more with much more clarity on the different all the different nuances of writing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I didn't know that stuff when I got started. So I can't give that to you even if I wanted to. All I can give to you is practical advice, practical experience. I have a book coming out next month. I think it might be my 14th or 15th book for young readers. It's called Quest of the Diamond Princess. I'm so proud of it. But we'll talk more about that one later. But for now, please come and join me Sundays, 9. Take your shower, get your jammies, pour you a glass of wine. But that's all for now. I'm looking forward to this. I've been nervous about this. I've been waiting to do this. And just like with the romance novel, it's time to stop waiting and start doing. So let's get doing. I'll see y'all next week. Bye bye.